Just let me know if the audio is too much of a mess. If anything, the game is probably quiet. That's my guess. But I suppose we'll see. The plan today is to get the mercenary skin. But to get the mercenary alternate skin, you need to beat the game or obliterate on Monsoon. So that's going to be the goal here. I'm going to activate 2 artifacts. We're going to go with Sacrifice and Swarms, because Swarms doubles monster spawns but halves their health, and Sacrifice, instead of using chests to get items, monsters will drop them. So you now have more monsters and more spawns, which should make beating it on Monsoon a little bit easier. So yeah, I guess I'll just get started. The nice thing about Risk of Rain is that the beginning is a little bit boring. So I don't have to worry about like, oh no, people are going to miss the beginning. It's like, oh, boo-hoo, they're going to miss the beginning. It's weird for everything to be so, like, squishy. My only concern is the damage of things is not at all reduced. So it's like, sure, there's more things and they have less health, but they don't do less damage. Still the same amount of damage. So it's very possible that I'm going to die a few times here, trying to get used to this. I'm already definitely getting a lot more than I bargained for. Yes, Baku, I did take both artifacts. The problem with taking both artifacts is these things do a lot of damage because there's more monsters. Because their maximum health is halved, but their damage is not. So honestly, I think I may turn off Swarms and just leave it on Sacrifice. I could turn on Dissonance. Dissonance could at least make it interesting. Because Dissonance will make it that weird things will spawn in environments they're not necessarily supposed to. Like normally the little guys on this map would be like Lemurians and Wisps. And that's pretty much it. But with this, they're likely to be, oh, and Beetles. But with this, they're likely to be a little bit different. But since I've still got Sacrifice on, I can't like open chests for items. I just have to wait for things to spawn. And depending on what the game chose as the things that would be in this area, it's almost like playing a Pokemon randomizer, where you've got different enemies than normally spawn in the area. But while we're waiting, behind the scenes in this game are things called directors, which are essentially like parts of the game program that decide where things spawn, what things spawn, stuff like that. And they work on their own sort of currency system, where depending on your difficulty and how much time has gone by in the game and all that sort of stuff, it will get a certain amount of currency. And then using that currency, it can purchase enemies. Or, for instance, the director that puts chests around the map right before you enter it, has currency for that too. But when it randomizes what enemies are here, it's very possible that it winds up getting a bunch of expensive ones that are very difficult to spawn. I mean, we're almost on what? Like the first bar line of easy? and I haven't seen a single thing spawn. I'm hoping that this isn't some sort of bug. But it seems that whatever roll I got for what things are going to spawn in this area has made it so that literally nothing spawns ever. Because I have not seen a single monster spawn, and we're almost 3 minutes into the game. I don't know why nothing's spawning. Okay, yeah, it definitely broke. Because nothing's spawning at all. You know what? We're going to see if the teleporter will charge like this. This is a very easy way to get the skin if this works. No mountain shrine? Oh yeah, what's it going to double, huh? What's it going to double? All these bosses. I mean, if I knew it wasn't going to spawn anything, I'd do it, but... yeah, literally nothing has spawned. I think they've got a bug on their hands. And since nothing spawns, you don't even get a teleporter zone. Because it's essentially like the boss has already died. Or no, there is one. It just doesn't show up physically, I guess because it didn't activate properly? I mean, watch. Now next stage will be perfectly fine and it'll fix itself, and I will have no items going into stage 2. That's probably what's going to happen. And then I'll just restart and figure out what went wrong. Because yeah, I'm literally just playing on Monsoon to get the alternate mercenary skin. I mean, I guess I got flawless from it. This is fun. Let's see. Next round. Is this just going to be race to the teleporter? Or will I actually get enemies this time? Because I can't really use my dashes very effectively because I'll only get one. Yeah, it's still doing it. We still got nothing. Because there's even like a cleansing pool. Yeah, because that's helpful with my no items. It's kind of spooky. I'm not gonna lie. It's unsettling for everything to just be this quiet. Oh, there's teleporter. I mean, if this continues, it's just a free... Oh, I thought for a second there I heard a beetle, which would mean that something spawned. But yeah, it did the same thing. It just kind of rumbled and then didn't begin. It is free real estate. Why not? Free money. Not like I need money for anything. I forgot that does a dash. Am I playing with controller? No, I'm not playing with controller. I'm playing on PC with mouse and keyboard and no enemies. I mean, speaking of controller, I've noticed if I have a controller plugged into my computer in any capacity, the game will decide that I can't use my keyboard for anything at all, and it won't even accept keyboard input for like menus, or mouse input for that matter. So at that point I just get stuck being, actually, wait. I got here with plenty of time. Can I find the timed chest? Are there specific locations for that? And does it cost anything? Because I don't know either of those things, because normally I do not get here within 10 minutes. Yes. Yes to which? I'm assuming there are specific locations that it shows up. Which doesn't help me much, because I don't know which one it's going to be in. Whenever I see it, it's always like kind of over in this sort of an area. Like on this general section of the map. I mean, does it cost anything? Because if it costs something, then I should probably use one of those blood shrines. See, here's the thing. Verdant Wave. I don't know what questions you're answering with what. So I'm just getting yeses and nos, and I don't know what any of them mean. I guess I can also use that as a dash. Because it's not like I need it for anything else. Is it down there? No. Yeah, I don't know where it is. I'm probably going to run out of time for it. It does have specific location, but no cost. Okay. We got 30 seconds on it. Alright. Got my one item for the run. We're in this. Will Mithrix spawn? Actually. I mean, what's a better option? Should I mean, I just gotta sit here. We can talk. Should I try a loop? Because looping and then obliterating is definitely going to work. There's no way that looping won't work. Because if things just keep not spawning, then things just won't spawn. That's what I mean. Loop or Mithrix, I don't know. Because if Mithrix doesn't spawn, I don't know what happens. I don't know if it soft locks me or if it just gives me an instant win. Loopy's better, but Mithrix is funny. Yeah, that's true. I'm probably going to wind up going for Mithrix just for the meme. I mean, the worst that happens is I have to go for the skin legitimately, which was my plan in the first place. Alright, Mithrix, or as I like to call him... actually, wait. If Mithrix does spawn, his title is even more fitting than usual. Mithrix King of Nothing? I mean, he's literally the king of nothing. There's nobody anywhere. And if nothing spawns on the moon either, then there's nothing. He is the king of nothing. Even more so than he's normally the king of nothing. See, there's a bunch of, like, monster spawning shrines, but I don't want to try them. Because I don't want to break this. Although, in all honesty, I probably should try one. But if it does spawn things, I'm just going to die. So I'm not going to. Because, like, on the one hand, if this is an unknown bug, because I'm probably going to check and see where Hapu has some sort of, like, bug reporting feature on their website or something and report this. But, like, actually, wait, equipment drone? Sure. Why not? Now I've at least got a buddy. Oh, there it is. Hey, pal. Hey, pal. You doing good? And he's doing something. Now we've at least got someone to hang out. Come on, bud. He's trying. He's working his way over. I mean, wasn't Risk of Rain 1 also made in Game Maker? Because if Game Maker was still, like, properly free, I would probably use that, but it is no longer. I think they made it in Game Maker. Cause I think they made it in Game Maker back when, like, Game Maker Studio still had an actual legitimate free trial. That's a whole nother rant. I mean, it's not like I don't have time to rant about it. If you're not familiar with Game Maker, it's like it evolved from what used to be a very, like, amateurish game engine, and sort of evolved into this more professional tool that is now known as Game Maker Studio. And for a while, Yo-Yo Games, the people who make Game Maker Studio, had it so that there's, like, the paid version like anything else, but kind of like Unity does, they have a free version that is free forever and just has limitations on what you can do with it. But, I mean, it's gotta be like a year or two ago at this point, but they changed it so that now the free trial only lasts for 30 days, and then you have to pay for some form of it. And if you were already had a free trial, the timer started from when they made that decision. So it's not like you could say, oh, well, I don't have time to try it right now. Let me cancel my free trial and do it again later. That's not possible. So now it's just a fully paid program that you have to pay for. So it kind of just entirely made itself obsolete. I mean, especially with things like Godot out there, and Unity, of course. And is Unreal free? I think Unreal's free. Or at least it's on some level free. I think there's some sort of weird like licensing thing you gotta do if you're actually gonna release a game on it. But I think like getting it and working with it is free. Sky Meadow. So what did we decide? We were saying Mithrix, right? See if we can find the actual King of Nothing. But yeah, that's my Game Maker rant. Godot is essentially Game Maker, but like new though. It's even got the same weird thing where they made their own scripting language because they couldn't get Python to work. You have to pay to release the game with it? For what, Unreal? I think so. I like the way that Unity does it, where it's like you don't have to pay for it unless you're actually making enough money for it to be even make sense for you to pay for it, you know? Alright, it's Mithrix time. Or it's almost Mithrix time. I almost don't want to hit this because the music here is real good, but let's go for it. There's my buddy. Him and his Prion accumulator. He's ready in case something shows up, but he doesn't really have to be. Yes, Unreal. Okay, yeah. Because yeah, Unreal has the thing where you gotta like pay them a portion of how much you make on it, which on some level makes sense. Unity is just sort of, I think that's just if you're getting one of the paid licenses, you just pay for it to use it, and then after that it's fine. Because if you don't pay for Unity, you have the watermark at the beginning of your game. I mean, that's how old versions of Game Maker used to work too. Back before it was Game Maker Studio even. If you didn't pay for like the paid version of it, and back then it was real cheap, but if you didn't pay for it, it would just put a watermark over top of the game all the time, and you could still see through it. I mean, I've got a game that I made back when I must have been like 13 or so, in Game Maker. The first and I think only game that I ever finished, which is kind of sad because most things I start and then don't want it finishing. But I've still got that game, and it's got the watermark because it was on the free version. Alright. Let's see how Mithrix works. I'm sure I'm going to have to still charge pillars, but... I mean, it's kind of funny. I was talking about directors and how directors work. And I'm assuming that it's a bug with directors that is causing this problem, so... How do you pronounce his name? Like, can you write out his last name, like, phonetically? Like, what is it? Christodoulou? Is it just Christodoulou? Is that all it is? But yeah, he definitely does. I mean, how long? He spent, like, years on this soundtrack. I mean, fun fact, another fun fact, while we're out here just running slowly because I can't do a whole lot of dashing. Christodoulou. Okay, so that was pretty close. One of the tracks from the first game, on his release that he put on his YouTube channel, somebody in the comments mentioned the word petrichor, which is the smell after it has rained. I like that earthy smell right after it has rained, when it hasn't rained for a while. That's kind of funny. We're getting all sorts of glitches. That doesn't quite line up. But apparently, Chris remembered that, and the name of the planet in this game, and of course it's the same planet as Risk of Rain 1, is now officially Petrichor 5, which is literally only because he remembered this comment about this word that he had never heard of before, named a track on this soundtrack Petrichor 5, to which the community assumed it was the name of the planet, and Hapu was like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's not a bad name. So now it's the official name of the planet, based on this one guy on a YouTube comment years ago. I know, while we're wandering around, we can do some Risk of Rain lore talk, too. The boss in this game, Mithrix. I mean, slight spoilers here if you're worried about like who these people are and don't want to get that spoiled. Mithrix, who's the final boss of this game, is the, I think, younger brother? Regardless, he's the brother of Providence, who was the boss of the first game. And Mithrix's whole deal is Providence was a very compassionate sort of guy, where he cared a lot for all of the various creatures and things that wound up living on this planet. Whereas Mithrix was not like that at all. He was just like, you should be only doing what we need to protect ourselves. Like, you shouldn't be worried about these other creatures and everything. And he's kind of just arrogant. There's a lot of logs for things that flesh out his character a bit more. But in the first game, the player character is 100% definitely the bad guy. Like, on the one hand, yeah, you did get your ship blown up and you crashed on the planet, and there's nothing you could have really done about that, so it kind of makes sense why you're surviving. Like, you're not like a morally bad character, but as far as the story goes, you're still the bad guy. Because the whole reason that Providence blows your ship up in the first place is because you've got one of the teleporters from the planet, so he thinks that you've stolen something from them and therefore you're a threat. And in order to protect all of these creatures on the planet that he cares about so much, he tries to destroy your ship and kill the people on it. And then you wind up having to kill him. And of course, back in Risk of Rain 1, there was no talk of Mithrix, the guy from this game, because he wasn't really thought up yet. But alright, how do I get back out of here? I guess up that way. But yeah, so Mithrix is like the arrogant one who doesn't really care much for life and just sort of is kind of selfish. And Providence was the one who was very caring and whatever. But in the first game, you kill Providence as the final boss. And now in this game, there's Mithrix. And it's a little bit more morally gray, which is kind of funny because Mithrix is also almost entirely gray. Because Mithrix is also kind of a piece of garbage in some ways. Because he just doesn't care about life other than his own and his brother's. Like, he does seem to care about his brother. And there's also the note that none of the creatures from the actual planet are up here. Assumedly because they don't like him. Because normally when things are spawning properly up here, it's only, how do you pronounce it? Chimeras? Chimeras? Whatever. Oh yeah, here before I hop up. Here's the sword I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure that this is Providence's sword. Or at least it very much looks like it is. If it's not his, it's very similar. But yeah, we're headed up there now. That's where the boss is. Another fun fact about this area. You can actually, if you have enough movement abilities, and you can get up here, you don't have to do any of the pillars. If you can just get up here, you can just skip right to this. Alright, here's the thing, right? I'm pretty convinced the final boss is going to spawn, and I'm just going to get toasted. But let's try it. This is going to be really funny if he does spawn. And I have a bad feeling he is gonna. Welp. He is definitely here. I have no items. What am I supposed to do? Other than like die in one hit. I mean, he is getting hit with the whatchamacallit from my drone. If the drone survives, I got a chance. I also have to survive though, and I have actually no items. And we're 30 minutes into a game with no items. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Oh yeah, do your stupid spin. Yeah, can't hit me, can ya, idiot? R, then run out, then R, then run out. I mean, yeah. Yeah. The problem is as soon as I get to the stage where there's supposed to be a bunch of other stuff spawning, I'm just screwed. That's what I'm concerned about. Because sure, like this stage, I can definitely just chip him down. But the later stages are not going to be so easy to just chip him. Yeah, this one I can just do that repeatedly and eventually I'll win. Where is he going? He's getting blasted. It did do a little bit of damage. I mean, nowhere near enough, of course, but... Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Hit him again. Nope. Yeah. That's kind of what I expected. I mean, hey. I got this. I got Prion Accumulator.